Chapter 16, Serafina's New Attack. Just as things were starting to settle into a cautious routine, Serafina struck again, this time more publicly and viciously. A major news outlet ran a story, clearly fed by Serafina and her connections, titled, "The Billionaire's Secret Triplets, a Planned Scheme." The article suggested that Charlotte had intentionally gotten pregnant, hidden the children to later demand a large settlement, and was now trying to worm her way back into Adrian's life and fortune. It also rehashed the old photos with Damien, implying he was still involved, and even questioned if Adrian was really the father. The story spread quickly. Reporters began showing up outside Charlotte's cottage, knocking on doors, trying to take photos of the children. Charlotte felt her blood run cold. This was exactly what she had feared 5 years ago. When Adrian arrived that afternoon, he found Charlotte trying to calm the frightened children while Madison stood guard at the door, keeping reporters away. "Adrian," Charlotte said, her voice tight with worry. "They won't leave. They're saying terrible things about me, and the children are scared." Adrian's face darkened with rage. "This is Serafina's doing. I know it." He immediately called his legal team and his public relations manager, issuing a strong official statement denying all the lies, confirming the paternity of the children, and threatening legal action against anyone spreading false information. He also sent security personnel to keep watch around the cottage, though Charlotte insisted they keep a low profile. But the damage was done in other ways. Charlotte received strange looks from some townsfolk who believed the rumors. Damien, pressured again by Serafina, made a careless comment to a reporter that was twisted to sound suspicious. Charlotte felt overwhelmed. One evening, after the children were asleep, she sat on the porch step, looking tired and defeated. Adrian sat beside her, leaving a respectful distance. Maybe it's better if you stay away for a while," Charlotte said softly. "This attention is bad for them. If you weren't involved, Serafina wouldn't keep trying to hurt us." Adrian turned to her, his expression shocked and hurt. "No, absolutely not. I'm not going anywhere. Running away is what caused all this pain in the first place. If we separate now, Serafina wins. And I'm not letting her destroy what little we have built. But the lies will be proven lies," Adrian said firmly. "We can do a public paternity test if needed, but I won't let you be driven away again. I won't let my children live in hiding anymore." He reached over hesitantly and took her hand. When she didn't pull away, he squeezed it gently. "I'm here, Charlotte. I'm not leaving you or them to face this alone." Charlotte looked at their joined hands, then up at him. For the first time in a long while, she didn't see the cold husband she had known years ago. She saw a man trying, making mistakes, but trying with all his heart. Chapter 17, Facing the Lies Together. To clear the air once and for all, Adrian suggested a way that would stop the rumors for good. He arranged for a formal paternity test, one that was conducted properly, with results that could not be disputed. The process was nerve-wracking for Charlotte, but she agreed. "I have nothing to hide. Let everyone know the truth." While waiting for the results, Serafina tried one more underhanded move. She sent people posing as delivery men to the cottage, trying to get closer, and even tried to approach the children when they were walking with their grandmother. But the security Adrian had arranged, along with the watchful eyes of the town and Charlotte's family, kept them safe. Finally, the results arrived. Adrian Victor Ashford was confirmed as the biological father of Lucas, Leo, and Lila Ashford with 99.99% certainty. Adrian released the full report to the press, along with a personal statement. "The rumors spread about Charlotte Lancaster and my children are cruel and completely false. My wife and I agreed to a divorce 5 years ago. At the time, neither of us knew she was pregnant. She chose to protect her children from the instability of our situation, and for that, I respect her greatly. These children are mine, and I will do everything in my power to protect them, their mother, and our family from anyone who tries to harm them." The story turned immediately. Public opinion shifted sharply, and sympathy turned toward Charlotte and the children. Serafina's reputation began to suffer instead as more people realized she was behind the lies. But Serafina refused to give up easily. Desperate, she made one final reckless attempt. She tried to confront Charlotte directly when she was alone, showing up at the cottage in a rage. "You think you've won," Serafina spat, standing on the doorstep. "You think because you have his children, he'll take you back. He doesn't love you. He never did. He only wanted me." Charlotte stood her ground, calm but firm. "You're wrong, Serafina. Adrian makes his own choices. And even if he didn't choose me, these children deserve a father who is present and honest, not a life filled with your schemes and hatred. Please leave before I call the police." Serafina lunged forward, but strong hands grabbed her from behind. Adrian had arrived just in time, having seen her car outside. He pulled her away gently but firmly, his face hard as stone. "This is the last warning, Serafina," he said quietly. "You are done. I have evidence of your plots, the money you paid Damien, the lies you spread. Leave us alone, or I will make sure you never show your face in respectable society again. Do we understand each other?" Serafina stared at him, realizing she truly had lost. With a cry of frustration, she turned and stormed to her car, speeding away, never to bother them again. Chapter 18: Bridging the Gap. In the weeks that followed, the tension eased. Serafina was gone, the lies were cleared, and the atmosphere in the cottage began to feel lighter. Adrian continued to visit, slowly becoming a familiar face. He learned to be patient. He learned that Leo needed to run and explore, that Lucas was quiet but loved puzzles and reading, and that Lila was sensitive and loved hugs and flowers. He helped with homework, built forts in the garden, read bedtime stories, things he had never imagined himself doing. He also spent more time with Charlotte, and as they spent hours talking about the children, about the past, about their dreams, they began to see each other differently. Adrian saw the woman he had ignored for so long, kind, resilient, intelligent, and beautiful inside and out. Charlotte saw a man who was no longer cold and blinded by the past, but someone learning humility and responsibility. One evening, after putting the children to bed, they sat outside watching the sunset. Adrian had brought a bottle of her favorite wine, and they were sipping it slowly. "You know," Adrian said softly, looking at the sky painted in shades of orange and pink. "I used to think love was about passion and excitement, like what I felt for Serafina. But looking back, that wasn't love. It was infatuation, it was the memory of something that never really was. What you have, the way you love the children, the way you care about everyone around you, that is real love." Charlotte looked at him, surprised by his honesty. "Love isn't easy, Adrian. Especially when it has been hurt." "I know," he turned to face her, his expression sincere and vulnerable. "But I also know that over these weeks, I've started feeling something I never expected. I've started caring for you again, but this time, it's real. I want to earn your trust, Charlotte. I want to earn your love, if you'll let me. Not because of the children, though they mean everything to me, but because of you." Charlotte felt her heart flutter. For years she had loved him silently, and now he was standing there, saying the words she had once dreamed of hearing. But she was cautious. "Adrian, we have a lot of history. A lot of pain. It can't be fixed overnight." "I know," he smiled gently. "And I'm willing to wait. For as long as it takes. I'm not asking you to rush into anything. Just, give me a chance to be part of your life too, not just the children's." Charlotte looked into his eyes and saw no coldness there, only sincerity and hope. Slowly, she nodded. "All right. We can try. One day at a time." Chapter 19. Coming Together. Months passed, and the bond between them grew stronger. Adrian became a constant, loving presence in the children's lives, and they began calling him Daddy, naturally and happily. He still had moments where he fell back into old habits, but Charlotte would gently correct him, and he would listen and apologize, something he never would have done before. The families also grew closer. The Ashfords, seeing how much Adrian had changed and how wonderful Charlotte was, fully accepted her and the children. Grandmother Clara spent as much time as she could with her great-grandchildren, and the grandparents from both sides often gathered for Sunday lunches. Adrian even helped Charlotte expand her perfume business, not by giving her money, but by connecting her with legitimate business partners, helping her with contracts and marketing, always making sure it was her success, not his. "You have a gift," he told her one day as he helped her organize her new larger workspace. "I want the world to know that." As Christmas approached, the atmosphere was warm and joyful. Adrian had moved into a home nearby, but he spent most of his time at the cottage. They decorated the tree together, the children making handmade ornaments, laughing and playing. One night, as they were all sitting by the fire, the children fell asleep on the sofa, piled together. Adrian looked from them to Charlotte, who was watching them with a soft smile. "It feels like a real family," Adrian whispered. "It does," Charlotte agreed softly. Adrian reached over and took her hand, lacing his fingers through hers. This time, she did not hesitate. She leaned her head gently against his shoulder, feeling a peace she had not known for years. "I love you, Charlotte," Adrian said quietly, his voice clear and sure. "I loved you once without knowing it, I hurt you, but now I know with all my heart. I love you." Charlotte lifted her head, looking into his eyes. She saw truth there, and she realized that after all the pain and hardship, her heart had slowly healed and opened again. "I love you too, Adrian," she said softly, smiling through happy tears. I think I always did." Chapter 20. A New Beginning. Life continued to bloom like the flowers in Charlotte's garden. Their relationship deepened, built slowly on trust, respect, and genuine love rather than contracts or convenience. Adrian had learned his lesson well. He never again took Charlotte or his family for granted. A year later, in the springtime, Adrian proposed properly, no business deals, no pressure, just him, kneeling in the garden with a simple but beautiful ring, with the triplets cheering beside them. They had a small, beautiful wedding, surrounded by family and friends, no grand fanfare, just love and joy. It was a second chance for both of them, and they cherished it deeply. A little over a year after their wedding, Charlotte found herself expecting again, this time, twins. The news was met with overwhelming happiness. The triplets were thrilled at the idea of having two more siblings to play with. When the day came, it was a joyous occasion. Charlotte gave birth to a healthy baby boy and girl, whom they named Ethan James and Elena Claire, after Adrian's brother and mother, and Charlotte's own mother. The family grew and flourished. The Perfume of Second Chances became a well-known brand, loved by many, but it was more than just a business. It was a symbol of how love, after hardship and separation, could be reborn even stronger. Years later, the children grew up knowing nothing but a home filled with laughter and love. Lucas became thoughtful and responsible, Leo energetic and kind, Lila gentle and creative, and the twins brought even more joy to their lives. Looking back, Charlotte and Adrian never forgot the hard years, the mistakes, the secrets, and the struggles. But they also knew that all of it had led them here, to a family whole and healed, to a love that had survived divorce, separation, lies, and time itself. Adrian would often hold Charlotte close as they watched their children play in the garden, whispering, "You were right, my love. Sometimes the best things in life come not as first choices, but as second chances." And Charlotte would smile, breathing in the scent of jasmine and roses, the perfume of their journey, of forgiveness, and of a love that lasted forever.